Hello everyone, I welcome you all in today's module and today we are going to discuss the very 11th chapter of history from Integrated Social Science Ratna Sagar class 6, the Gupta and the post-Gupta period. And in this particular module we'll be discussing about the Gupta Empire and the political history of the Gupta Empire, and we'll also be discussing the sources that gave us the information about the Gupta period as well. Okay, when coming on to the Gupta period, the origins of the Guptas are shrouded in mystery. Okay, nothing certain is known about the rise of this dynasty, and only this much is known that a person named Sri Gupta took the advantage of the confusion that prevailed in the country after the fall of Kushan Empire and declared himself the ruler of Magad. Okay, and historians write that probably he belonged to a low caste, but gradually rose to a position of an independent ruler, and he was followed by his son Ghatotkacha. And the most likely date for the reign of Sri Gupta is 240 to 280 CE, Common Era, and his successor Ghatotkacha ruled probably from 280 to 319 CE, and in contrast to his successors, he is also referred to in inscription as Maharaja. At the beginning of the 4th century, the Guptas established and ruled a few small Hindu kingdoms in Magad, okay, and around modern day Uttar Pradesh. And actual rise of the Gupta Empire started when Chandragupta I succeeded to the throne in 320 CE, okay. And the Gupta Empire was one of the largest political and military empires in ancient India. It was ruled by the Gupta dynasty from around 240 to 550 CE and covered most of the northern India and what is now eastern Pakistan and Bangladesh. During this period, it was considered a great power as well. Okay, let us try to understand more about Guptas with the help of the maps. Okay, let us turn into the next slide. So here is the map, as you can see, and we have already discussed in the Maurya and the post-Mauryan period that after the breakup of Maurya Empire, the Satavahanas and the Kushanas emerged as two large political powers. The Satavahanas acted as a stabilizing factor in the Deccan and the south, and the Kushans performed the same role in the north. But these empires came to an end in the middle of the 3rd century CE, and on the ruins of the Kushan Empire arose a new empire which established its sway over a good part of the former dominions of both the Kushans and the Satavahanas, and this was the power of the Guptas. And historians say that they may have been of Vaishya origin. Okay, we have just now discussed that the person named Sri Gupta who took the advantage and came into prominence and declared himself the independent ruler was basically he belonged to a low caste. Okay, so historians also say that these Guptas may have been of Vaishya origin. Let us turn on to the next slide also, and in this particular slide I have shown you the regions basically ruled by the most important Gupta rulers. Okay, here in this particular image you can see here the conquest of Chandragupta, and here is the Samudragupta. Okay, and this one region is of Chandragupta, okay, whom he conquered or made a part of the Gupta Empire. And in this map I think you are able to see here Hunas, okay, Huns basically, who ended the rule of this particular dynasty, that is the Gupta Empire. Turning on to the next slide, and let us see that what are the sources that gives us the information about the Gupta period. And you can see here there is one more map. I have found it somewhere through Google only. Okay, this is the map of India in the Gupta age. If you want to take the screenshot of this particular map, you can pause the video and you can take the screenshot. Okay, you can see a Dakshina Path. Okay, this is a map of India during the Gupta age. Okay, I think you are able to see other regions as well. Okay, Aryavrat and the rivers. Okay, coming on to the next one. When we are talking about the sources, okay, that gives us the information about the Gupta period. Basically, we have both archaeological and literary sources that tells us about the Gupta period, and the most important archaeological source is the Allahabad pillar inscription, and also the inscriptions on temples, paintings and coins. Okay, when we talk about the literary sources, the works of Kalidas, okay, and the accounts of fine and icing are basically the literary sources that gives us the information about the Gupta period as well. So Kalidas has basically written many works like Meghdut, Ritu Samhara, Kumar Sambhavam, Abhigyan Sakuntalam, Raghuvancha Vamsham. Okay, so these were the books written by Kalidas. Coming on to the next slide, let us see the hierarchy. Okay, of the Gupta Empire. I also found this one from one of the sites. Okay, because most of the things are not written in the book. In book, they have just mentioned Chandragupta I, Samudragupta, and Chandragupta II. And in later Guptas, they have mentioned very few about Kumaragupta and Skandagupta. So the ruling dynasty of the empire was founded by the king Sri Gupta. Okay, but the most notable rulers of the dynasty were Chandragupta I, Samudragupta, and Chandragupta II, who was also known as Vikramaditya. Okay, if you want to take the screenshot of this one also, you can pause the video and you can take the screenshot. Turning on to the next slide, let us discuss about the emperor, the rulers, the Gupta rulers in detail. So coming on to the first one, Chandragupta I. Ghatotkacha, the son of Sri Gupta, had a son named Chandragupta. Okay, so this is Chandragupta I, the son of Ghatotkacha. His period was 320 to 335 CE, and he was the first most powerful Gupta ruler. And Chandragupta was married to Kumara Devi, a Lichavi princess. Okay, Lichavi tribe was then the main power in Magad, and with a dowry of the kingdom of Magad, capital Patliputra, and an alliance with the Lichavis, Chandragupta set about expanding his power, conquering much of Magad, Prayag, and other regions as well. Okay, his empire, you can see here, his empire was extended from Magad and up to Prayag, and Chandragupta was the first of the Guptas to be referred as Maharaja Dhiraj. Maharaja Dhiraj means king of the kings. The image you are seeing here is the coin, okay, a gold coin which is basically depicting Queen Kumara Devi and King Chandragupta I. Okay, turning on to the next slide. So next slide we will be discussing about Samudragupta. Samudragupta was the son of Chandragupta I and Kumara Devi and the grandson of Ghatotkacha. He was considered to be the worthy of the success and hence was put on the throne by his father. He also gained the name Indian Napoleon, okay, due to his conquest in many directions and in various kinds. This is not mentioned in the book, but then also it is a very important information about him, that he was also known as Indian Napoleon. The empire of Samudragupta was far the greatest that had seen in India since Ashoka's days as well, and he was the one who enlarged the Gupta Empire enormously. Okay, and he is also referred to as Lichavi Dohitra also in his Allahabad Prashasthi. Lichavi Dohitra basically means grandson of Lichavis. Okay, his court poet Hari Sen, His court poet Hari Sen wrote a glowing account of the military exploits of his patron, and in a long inscription the poet enumerates the peoples and the countries that were conquered by Samudragupta as well. The inscription is engraved at Allahabad on the same pillar that carries an inscription of the peace-loving Ashoka. Now, before turning on to the conquest of Samudragupta, we need to understand the term Prashasthi or Allahabad, what was basically Allahabad pillar inscription. So, let us discuss that one also. And you can see here, this was the region of the Guptas, the core region of Gupta Empire during 375 AD or CE. Okay, turning on to the next slide. Now, coming on to Prashasthi, what Prashasthi is. Okay, Prashasthi is a Sanskrit term which means in praise of. The term in itself says that it is something that praises the king or the ruler, isn't it? So, Prashasthi basically is a work or a term which means in praise of, which itself says that it is something that praises the king or the ruler. Now, coming on to the Allahabad pillar inscription. Allahabad pillar inscription is also known as Prayag Prashasthi, which was composed by Hari Sen, and Hari Sen was Samudragupta's court poet. And this pillar inscription is the main source of information on Samudragupta's reign, basically rule, and it lists the region conquered by Samudragupta. It also mentions the ancestors of the king. It lists the rulers against whom Samudragupta fought, and it describes the policy that Samudragupta followed towards each set of rulers he fought with. It was not compulsory that if he had conquered a region, then the ruler of that region had to surrender himself in front of him, in front of the king. Okay, there were some regions where he conquered, and the rulers had to just accept him as their overlord, and they had to just pay tribute to him as well. Okay, so there were different policies that Samudragupta followed towards each set of rulers. Let us try to find out what policies he basically followed with the different set of rulers. Okay, so the conquests of Samudragupta are basically mentioned in the Allahabad pillar inscription as well. You can see here that in the north, Samudragupta defeated 4 powerful kings and numerous smaller kings, and a large part became the part of his empire which were administered directly by him. Now, coming on to the Deccan and south, Samudragupta defeated 12 rulers of Deccan and the far south, which was also known as Dakshinapath. These kingdoms were not annexed. The rulers only had to pay an annual tribute and accept Samudragupta as their overlord. Samudragupta defeated many kingdoms of the east such as Nepal, Assam and Bengal. The rulers had to accept his suzerainty and pay him tribute. Now, what the term suzerainty means? Suzerainty basically means the authority of a powerful king accepted by the another king. Okay, the term suzerainty means the authority of a powerful king accepted by the another king. And Samudragupta also defeated the forest tribes of the Vindhya region, and the rulers offered tributes and gifts to the king. These were the famous conquests of Samudragupta. Turning on to Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II was the son of Samudragupta, and according to the Gupta records, amongst his sons, Samudragupta nominated Prince Chandragupta II as his successors. Okay, and he was also known as Vikramaditya. Why he was known as Vikramaditya? Chandragupta adopted this title Vikramaditya, which had been first used by an Ujjain ruler in 58 CE, 58 BC as a mark of victory over the Sakas. He adopted the title himself, Vikramaditya. Okay, he defeated the Shakas and took control of the ports of Bharuch, Cambay, and Sopara. He maintained friendly relations with the powers of the Deccan and the far south as well. He patronized arts and literature. The Navratnas or the nine James lived in his court, and the name of those nine James were Kalidas, Amarsimha, Shanku, Dhanvantari, Shapanak, Shapanak, Vetal Bhatt, Varuchi, Ghatakpar, and Varamihira. Okay, these were the nine James of Chandragupta II's court. Okay, and poet Kalidas was also one of them, and Fahine came to India during Chandragupta's reign and has written about many poets, philosophers and writers who lived at his court, and he has also written about the life of common people who were living during this Gupta ruler's reign. The Chinese pilgrim Fahine, he visited India during Chandragupta's time, and he wrote an elaborate account of the life of its people as well. He basically resided here from 399 to 414 CE, as mentioned somewhere. Okay, Chandragupta II extended the limits of the empire by marriage alliances and conquest. Chandragupta II also had a daughter named Prabhavati, okay, whom Chandragupta married his daughter Prabhavati with the Vakataka prince Rudrasen II, who belonged to the Brahmin caste and ruled in the central India. And the prince died and was succeeded by his young son, so Prabhavati became the virtual ruler, and the Chandragupta exercised indirect control over the Vakataka region kingdom in the central India as well. Okay, this awarded a great advantage to him as well, and passing through this area, Chandragupta II conquered western Malwa, Gujarat, which had been under the rule of Sakas for about 4 centuries by that time, and the conquest gave Chandragupta the western sea coast famous for trade and commerce, and this contributed to the prosperity of Malwa, and its chief city Ujjain seems to have been made the second capital by Chandragupta II as well. Turning on to the next slide, let me show you the extent of Chandragupta's empire. You can see here this was the maximum extent of Chandragupta II, and these are the gold coins which were issued during Chandragupta II. Okay, turning on to the next slide, we'll be discussing about the later Guptas as well. Okay, coming on to the later Guptas, the powerful Gupta rulers were the Kumaragupta and Skandagupta only. Okay, Kumaragupta, the period of Kumaragupta was 415 to 455 CE, and he was the son of Chandragupta II, who ruled for a term of 40 years. Okay, coming on to a picture you must be seeing here. This is the Nalanda University. Okay, so Nalanda University was basically founded by him in the 5th century. Nalanda is in Bihar, and the university here was, perhaps as I have already discussed, that established in the 5th century by the Gupta ruler Kumaragupta. Okay, but the chief patron of this university was King Harshvardhan. We'll be discussing about King Harshvardhan in the very next module. Okay, who came into power after the end of this Gupta Empire. Okay, coming on to one more thing about Kumaragupta. Kumaragupta reign remained peaceful. Okay, his reign was totally peaceful. Okay, and coming on to Skandagupta, the period of Skandagupta was 455 to 467 CE, Common Era, and it was during his rule that the Gupta Empire was threatened by the Hunas during his reign. Okay, and Skandagupta ascended the throne after the death of his father Kumaragupta I. Okay, and an inscription named Kaham inscription refers to Skandagupta as Shakrupana. Okay, and about the middle of the 5th century ED, one branch of Hunas known as Epithelites or White Hunas occupied a region and threatened India as well. And as I have told, that the Gupta Empire came to an end by the Hunas only. These Huns were the nomadic tribesmen of Central Asia. Okay, it was the Huns who ended the rule of the Gupta dynasty. Okay, so this was all about Gupta Empire. We have discussed how they came into prominence and how they declined as well. Okay, and you can see here I am showing you the map during different time period, 450 CE, AD or AD, or here the much weakened late Guptas. Okay, the core region of late Gupta, you can see here how it has been concentrated to a very small region, okay, by later Guptas. And this is all for today. Once again, to have a look to the conquest of Chandragupta and Samudragupta and Chandragupta II, the region basically conquered by them and extended by them. So with this, I call it a day. We'll be meeting with the next module in which we'll be discussing about Harshvardhan. Okay. So till then, have a nice day and do read the topic first and then watch the video.